Louise, don't go down there. It's dangerous. Did you mean to wave your arms all over the place while falling into the hole? Because if so, you nailed it.
Yes, it all went great.
Fans of the animated TV show Bob's Burgers will be excited to see the Belcher family up on the silver screen this weekend. Bob, Linda, Tina, Gina, and Louise are all here, struggling to save the family business once again. As on TV, this movie is a lot of silly fun. It's warm-hearted, musical, and pretty funny. If you're a fan of the TV show, then you should also love the Bob's Burgers movie.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt. You are not my first choice. You are here at the request of Admiral Kazansky, AKA Iceman. He seems to think that you have something left to offer the Navy. What that is, I can't imagine.
And then there's Top Gun Maverick, which brings Tom Cruise back playing the bad boy jet fighter 36 years after the original movie. This time around, he's teaching a whole new class of cocky fighter pilots for the Navy. Now, this is a very good piece of summer popcorn filmmaking. The action is thrilling, the callbacks to the first movie are a lot of fun, and there's just enough character work to keep you engaged with these characters. Most importantly, there's Tom Cruise, who proves that he's still the king of these action blockbusters.
Having any fun yet?
And that's what's new this week at the movies. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
Welcome back. Sean McBride, the movie guy, joins us. Of course, it's Friday, but not only is it Friday, it's Memorial Weekend. And of course, while it may signal the beginning of summer for a lot of people headed to the beach or outdoors or a moment to remember the fallen heroes, it has also traditionally been the beginning of summer blockbuster movies.
And and talk about blockbuster movies, that's Tom Cruise. You realize he has never had a $100 million opening movie.
Really?
And so that's kind of very surprising to me. Yeah. He's come close several times. He's had like $97 million openings.
Right.
But this is the one that has all the buzz behind it. It's got the big 3-day weekend. We're expecting that Top Gun is going to do very well. And I don't want to dismiss Bob's Burgers because I like that film too. But it's a good weekend to go see the movie.
But this is, I mean, this is not only a movie that, the anticipation is building because of the stars, it's building because it's been decades since its franchise began.
36 years. That's kind of fascinating. And it's funny because this film opens and within a minute, we start hearing Kenny Loggins into the danger zone.
Right.
And the big grin is on my face. And it's like, I'm not sure I actually remember this that much, but boy, that song is so tied to this movie from '86, and it just made me very happy. It's pretty much the same, formula as the last time. So this time Tom Cruise is a test pilot, but he's brought back because he's got to train some new people. So the first half of this movie is training these hotshot fighter pilots. And then the second half becomes military air action. And that stuff is really, really well done. They, if you recall, they said the first one was one of the greatest recruiting videos the Navy ever saw.
Yeah,
and this one, that's the case on steroids. Really good stuff here.
Yeah, because computer animation and computer graphics and all those things have improved greatly. Some of this is real deal, but a lot of it is not.
Yeah, exactly. But remember that the Navy has just doubled down on supporting. You can't make this movie if the U.S. Navy doesn't want you to make this movie. And so they have access to a lot of great footage here. So if
and on top of that, I sound like I've read a lot. I just happened, I don't care where you turned, you've seen the material.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And I saw where they were saying, yes, you're going to see the actors truly flying in the jets, but they're not always doing the exact stunts that you see on the screen.
Of course. Yeah, some of that's very dangerous.
It kind of led to the credence, watching them, seeing their movements inside the cockpit. Now we know, of course, Tom Cruise, central character. But we also hear this tease about Val Kilmer. Is he really in the show that much?
He is not in that show that much. Val Kilmer, for those who don't know, has had a cancer scare. He's pretty much lost his ability to speak. And so it's like, well, do you put him back in? Well, they do. They found a very nice way to put him in. He does have a couple of lines, but they worked his illness into it. And at the end of that scene, the audience I was with applauded. I thought it was very sweet. It's a nice little bit of camaraderie, a little bit of humor. I thought it worked very well. It's the other big star is obviously Anthony Edwards, who cannot be in this because, spoiler alert, he did not survive the last one. 36 years, you should know what happened to Goose in the last film. But they get Miles Teller to play his son, so the ghost of him.
It's more than a ghost. It's almost like a doppelganger.
Yeah.
When you see the trailer, I'm like, wait a minute, did they bring him back as a young
Yeah. That works very well, and obviously there's some tension there, but it ultimately is going to have kind of a paternalistic thing. The other one that I think we should talk about is Jennifer Connelly playing the new love interest here. She's 51, Cruz is 59. I'm very happy they didn't get a 20-year-old to play the love interest here. These people, though, are not natural 59-year-olds. They both look amazing. But I also like the fact that she's the one that puts the moves on him. If you remember the last movie, it was problematic. He follows her into the women's restroom to hit on her. Not this time. She's calling the shots here, and he's very respectful of that. I think it works well. I think there's just enough of this, emotion to keep us grounded, and then get to the action in the air. I think it works really well. Callbacks are wonderful. Pretty good film.
All right, so you give it a thumbs up?
Gave it 3 out of 4. I thought it was a pretty good nostalgic popcorn movie.
All right, so there's another. This may not be the only movie that you want to see.
Sean's been saying, don't forget about this one. Don't forget about this one.
And look, I've run into several people who that's what they're asking me about is Bob's Burgers. There are a lot of really diehard Bob's Burgers fans. If you're a fan of the series, this is like a very big extended version of the TV show. Those characters are just so much fun. They're so weird. I kind of love that about them. And just like in the show, they break into song frequently in the course of the movie, which, you know me, I love anything, any movie musical reference. I love that stuff. The plot does get a little more serious than a traditional Bob's Burgers episode. So it's a crime story. That may strike people a little weird, but look, you're there for the family, you're there for the characters, you're there for the silliness.
You're there if you're a fan. Because, I mean, otherwise, why would you go?
I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think that's quite true. I think there's enough silliness that people will laugh at it, whether
that may be, but my point being that I'm not a Bob Burger fan, so I don't even know who this. Why would I? You know,
it's a guy named Bob. He sells burgers.
I get that, but I'm just not sure it'd be something that would attract me at the theater or at home.
If you're not a fan, you're probably waiting for this on home streaming. If you are a fan, you might very well want to venture out to the theaters there.
Oh, I thought he was going back to a Top Gun reference. You might want to jettison this.
It all circles back, doesn't it?
It's going to be interesting because I mean, not only that this week, there, but at home streaming, you have Obi-Wan's hitting at Disney Plus. You have Stranger Things coming out next week. You have The Boys. I mean, you've got a lot of really good home streaming options. That's going to be interesting for our Top Gun. Does Tom Cruise go over 100 million with so many good options at home?
I didn't know Stranger Things was coming out.
And The Boys, if you were a fan of that one on
next week, The Boys, Ms. Marvel in 2 weeks.
Okay.
A lot of
good
stuff.
Things still ahead. All right, good
so many things, so little time. I love it.
There you go. Sean, thanks for dropping by. Sean McBride, the movie guy, comes by every Friday to talk about what's new at the